Okay, so here we go with adding leaves. And I'm not just going to go with straight up crayon green. I'm looking at the color of the leaves, and since it's kind of a misty, yucky, overcast day, there's kind of some muted colors that are really light and a little bit grayish. So you just have to find the color that really suits for your base color. Because leaves are just like everything else we've done. You start out with the base color and you add your darks and you add your lights. So here what I'm doing is I'm just using the pencil, and I can use different sizes of the pencil to just kind of scribble in some of these leaves. And I'm just going back and forth, loop-de-looping, little scribble scrabbles, things like that, to just get a base of where these leaf masses are going to go. You can see that they don't always attach to the the limbs. Sometimes they're just completely separated out. Sometimes they're clumped together. Sometimes they go over the branches. Sometimes they overlap each other. There's all sorts of variety in the leaves, and that's what makes them so difficult at first. So you may want to practice with this if you see leaves out your window. But if we zoom in, you'll see that it really doesn't look, that realistic when you look up close. Look, I mean, it's just a bunch of squiggles and scrabbles. Some are looser and more open, and some are more tight and some and clumped together. But what I'm going to do now is like come in with my darker color that I've identified out there and add that in. And you can see that just by adding that one color, it really turns into something that looks like it has a little bit more depth. That it's starting to look 3D. And that's what happens. I mean, if you color it all one color, it's going to look like a cartoon or, a coloring book or something like that. So you want to make sure you're using at least a dark, a medium, and light on each thing. So that's including your leaves. Okay, so I'm going to use a dark green, a medium green, and I'm going to go with a really light yellow green because I think that kind of gets where they are in this kind of spring, um, the where the leaves are just coming out. You have a little bit of that yellow that kind of brings that life to them. And that's a nice substitute for like a light green. It gives it a little bit more of that variety. It looks a bit more realistic. So, what I'm going to do now is just come back in and bring back some of those limbs that got covered up. I did Some of them disappeared a little bit more than I wanted, so I'm just going to build that back up. Not everywhere, just in some spots, till I get it looking the way I want it to. So I think that should about do it, and we'll learn about putting the wall in next time. Thanks.